Welcome back, guys, to Checks and Balances. And today I'm hosting Mukundane Javan, who happens to be a CEO of an engineering company. And today we'll be checking entrepreneurship in Uganda. We all know that Uganda is one of the most entrepreneurial nations in the whole world, but there seems to be something that we need to check. So how does someone grow from zero to a certain level? So today with me, Javan, before you talk about what you do and everything, please just a brief background about yourself.
Yeah, thank you very much, Regan, for having me here at Checks and Balances. Yeah, my name is Javan Mukundane, and I'm a CEO at SpringTech. It's an engineering firm, and we deal in water solutions. We basically provide water to communities and individuals. So we are basically water related, and our work is to ensure that everyone has access to clean water which is sustainable and reliable, and most importantly, energy clean.
Energy clean.
Yeah.
So as we said, we're talking about entrepreneurship, and I have as they said, this statistic that says that Uganda is one of the most entrepreneurial nations. There is this misconception where there is someone owns a business and someone who's an entrepreneur. Can you give me the difference between an entrepreneur and a business owner?
Actually, there's I can say there's a thin line between business owners and entrepreneurs. And this is where most people confuse the notion of entrepreneurship. Because as an entrepreneur, you're supposed to be innovative, you're supposed to be dynamic, you're supposed to solve solutions. Actually, it starts from problem solving. What problems do you have? What are you seeing? Let's say for us in the energy sector, what is the bottleneck, we can say, of providing water to people? It starts at a problem level. Then when it starts from problem level, it graduates and you start thinking of solutions. And that's how an entrepreneur works. He takes risks, to have something done. So as an entrepreneur, you should be above average. You don't start any normal business.
You shouldn't be like a normal trader who wakes up and like, okay, I'm going to sell, let's say, something by the roadside.
Yeah.
So, but they're also solving a problem, probably someone who is hungry.
But
so,
what unique way, what is the uniqueness of what you're doing? For example, waking up and going to the roadside and selling probably a gonja is what everyone does. And it's assured that someone is going to pass and sell it. But what if you think of another idea of how
of packaging that gonja?
Of packaging the gonja, maybe moving it to supermarkets, maybe post-harvest handling, and then you make it like more diverse. And although it's risky, that's why entrepreneurship comes in. A business owner, you asked me a difference between a business owner and an entrepreneur. A business owner is not necessarily an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur creates ideas. Actually, to be an entrepreneur doesn't mean you must be a business person or a business owner.
So business, to be an entrepreneur, you don't have to be to be a business owner, you don't have to be an entrepreneur, or to be an entrepreneur, you don't have to be a...
Both ways.
Okay.
Both ways. You don't have to be a business owner for you to be an entrepreneur. We have employees who are doing enterprising things within their organization.
They're actually called entrepreneurs.
Entrepreneurs, yes. And they are setting a mark for other people to develop on. So as a business owner, you can employ entrepreneurs. That's also, we can say that's also
they'll come in your company and provide solutions to the probably like what you're doing. They expound on it.
Yeah, they do. So as a business owner, you just have to look for entrepreneurs who are able to assist you in generating that kind of ideas, that most importantly that help people solve problems. Because if you do anything that is normal, then you might not achieve what you want.
You might not sustain your business.
Yeah.
And when competition comes, they will wipe you off. So you have to be always on the lookout of providing, cutting edge solutions.
Yeah.
I've known you, Javan, for a while. I've seen you start. I wasn't there, but there is something about you which I call drive. And I have a feeling for an entrepreneur to be exceptional, they have to have drive. Yeah. Please explain to me what inspires you, what drives you to wake up and, as you said, create solutions in your field and be ahead of competition.
I think one of the things we need to talk about now is the ambition. Yeah. Ambition is very critical. Or in corporate strategy, we call it vision and mission. Mission is what you do on a daily basis. Vision is where you see yourself to be, let's say, in the next 10 years. And we say the vision is not dynamic. Sorry, the vision is dynamic. You can change your vision depending. It's something that you're looking at attaining in a longer run. But then the mission helps you to break down those steps on a daily to achieve the mission. And I think that is the drive that we look at. You have an ambition to achieve something, and then you have to go all the way. That keeps you going. But they say a man without a vision is a dead one. I think that's a common saying. So what drives me to go every day at work is because I have objectives that are smart. You start at objectives that help you attain what you want. And two is, most importantly, is the passion. You must be an entrepreneur in something that you like. Or if you're a business owner, you must hire entrepreneurs that have that passion, that drive to drive the business system that you want to set up. So as the passion grows, you wake up in the morning, go to work with energy, and try to look out for those customers, for those people with challenges that you're trying to solve. Because as SpringTech, we say that we are a smart organization that helps people to realize, to have access to water. And most of our clients are NGOs, individuals, and government. And why we set out objectives to make sure that in whatever we do, we must implement to the perfection. We are not, we can say it's very hard to be a perfectionist, but that drive that keeps going, and then you transmit it through the staff, then it keeps you going. Because you asked me about the drive. So then you wake up every morning with that kind of energy, you are at work, and you're able to serve your customers and you're able to serve other people better. Yeah.
So, Javad, you are relatively a young gentleman. So, as youth in this country, you think we have the right support system on the ground, be it from government, be it from organizations? Do you think there is the right support system for young entrepreneurs, for people who want to start businesses? Probably there's someone who has an idea out there, but they don't know what to start. Do you think there are support systems? What are the trainings, probably funding, where people can get funding from? Do you think there is the right environment in Uganda for a young entrepreneur to thrive?
I think as an entrepreneur, you might not look at the environment.
Oh, really?
Although the environment creates
I have a feeling
chance.
it dictates everything in a business to thrive.
It does not.
For example, would you thrive in Somalia? If you went to Somalia right now, you think you would thrive if you're a businessman right now?
I think every business environment requires a different mindset and a different approach. When we, as the youth, when we get laid back and say that the government, or we are waiting for any support from donors, we might not be where we want to be. Sure. We might sit back and hold our arms and then not move out, not think beyond what is there. But although we still have a lot of gaps in the system of, in the economic environment, but there are very many opportunities, I must say. The government has tried to put some money in UDC. What's UDC? Uganda Development Corporation. There are many NGOs looking out for ideas of how they can do their work better.
So what I was trying to ask, the government always has these systems in place, but do you think that information is accessible to an average entrepreneur, let's say from Kabale? Do you think people out there can access that knowledge of, let's say, there is a training here about, let's say, how to create systems that can run a business remotely? Do you think the government is providing the right, or not the government, even private institutions, banks? Do you think that the system is laid so that at least when someone starts, they know that they can go somewhere and get the help they really want?
No, I also think the training is really poor. The way we have been trained right from university, right from secondary school, we have been trained to be job seekers. Then at the end of the day, we find ourselves not employable anywhere because we don't have the mindset to think outside.
That self-starter mindset.
So the training is a big challenge. You know, people get out of university when they don't have skills that can help them attain. I will give you a scenario. When I was coming out of the university, there was a famous professor who gave us a lecture immediately after our last paper, and he said that we are not sending you out to be a burden to other organizations. We are sending you with the mindset to use the knowledge you have acquired to create opportunities and solve problems. So, but most of the people who came out of the university had this mindset that I have to look for a job. And I have colleagues who left university immediately and they started looking out for such opportunities, and now they are employing people, they are creating jobs for other people. So the issue is the training too, and the knowledge gap.
Yeah, the mindset.
Because
an average Ugandan, when you tell them, oh, just leave campus, just leave university right today and start a business, but with what money? Because I know that people will say, every time you talk to a rich person, they'll always tell you, oh, capital is not the most important thing while starting a business. But you're saying it because you have probably 5 buildings in this town. But how do you tell someone who has just left campus, probably doesn't have a very good financial support from home or from his social circle? How do you tell them be determined and start?
I think also you've mentioned one of the bottlenecks, which one is capital and high interest rates for money, and people who do not have collateral to start these enterprises. But I must say, one of the things is imagination. Imagination starts from the head. It doesn't start from anywhere. Once you have an idea and you're chasing after an idea, I think with time, an opportunity, you seize an opportunity and implement it. So if you look at challenges of capital and you might lay back. There are many ways of raising capital. Some of them are sophisticated. Obviously, some of them require, a lot of help from here and there. Some of them are funded by parents. Some of them are funded by friends.
By yourself?
Or some of them are funded by yourself. But, when you look at the whole issue resolving around equity, there are many ways you can raise capital. And I'm going to give you one. You might have to first look for a job. Some people actually prefer that way. They get a job and raise capital, but they are working towards something. They are building self-employment. Others are funded by their parents. Others, have to sell off something. As like I told you, entrepreneurship is a risk. It's a risk you calculate and take a risk. But you must believe in that risk so that when you fall, you get up again.
Some get partners.
Yeah, some get partners. Actually, that was the point I was getting to. If you don't have capital, then you can partner with someone. There are many people out there that you can bring an idea and they have money and they are willing to invest in with you and you become a partner in them. Yeah.
So how do you get to choose the right people? How do you know that this is the right partner if you're going into business with them?
Actually, to take you back, entrepreneurs don't want to sit back and see other people taking them to the next step. Entrepreneurs think strategically. Entrepreneurs look ahead than the other employees. But you said a very important point. Teamwork and choosing a right team is the key. Actually, it's 90%. Me, if I can rate it, is 90% to achieving success. Let's say if you're a person dealing in products and solutions, if you imported your things from China, put them in a shop, and then there's no one to sell them, it's useless. So the human element is the biggest part in any.
Probably you start a business which is technical and you're not a salesperson at all.
Yeah.
So on your team you need someone.
You need marketing, and that's why it brings us to a point that you need to understand what kind of business or what kind of solution you're dealing in, so that you're able to point out the different partners. Now, choosing the right team, I think it needs a lot of understanding. You need to understand, even when you're hiring, you have some minimum qualifications. But as also a person, Do you have those values? You know, it also starts with you. No, if I say my company is about integrity, I want everyone to be, even myself, do I exhibit integrity? So most people usually look up to the top for them to get the inspiration. Because I cannot tell you to do this, yet I'm doing the opposite. So as part of our organization and the way we are expanding and trying to go digital, most of our top management exhibits our values that we set out, and everything is labeled, is in black and white, and there is no exemption. I must say the first thing that is discipline. Without discipline, then you're not going to achieve anything.
And that's something they really teach very well.
Yeah. And you know, my mentor was a disciplined guy. He was a very wealthy man. He owned a private jet, but he would be at work at 8, before 8, and leave at 6 every day, Monday to Friday. So for me, that was a catching point. And I've really learned a lot from the athletes. You can imagine how much work, you know, Roger Federer puts in. Yeah, you know, he's at the top level, but to stay at the top, you must be disciplined and hard work. So I think there's in success, discipline plays a big percentage. First of all, I was an engineer, and I had always dreamed to have my own engineering firm, providing solutions to people. But then I did not have the capital, like you said. I had to first go and look for work and cater out as I'm planning to start. And also what helped me is engineers will always look at the technical bit. I enrolled up for a master's in business administration. That's why I was able to get, you know, the whole perspective of how you can run a business. What parameters do you have to look at?
So as we wrap up this show, do you think everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur? Because at the end of the day, as you said, some people are not employable. Someone might not be good at taking orders. So do you think everyone is cut out to be an entrepreneur?
I think in you know, everyone has their own characters. You know, there's a way God created man, and everyone has. But I think majority of the percentage, you know, if you look at percentages, majority should be, you know, entrepreneurs, because a nation develops because of entrepreneurship, of being able to solve challenges. Some are not where will agree, because some have their own challenges, character, you know, discipline, you know, but some can be employed. And it doesn't mean that if you're employed, you're not an entrepreneur. You can be trained. So you shouldn't sit back and relax and say, me, I was not meant to be an entrepreneur. Because when you look at marketing, let me give you an example of marketing. Marketing, you market your product. How many of us market ourselves every day? Even when you're going for marriage, probably you've marketed yourself to someone. So everyone has that bit of entrepreneurship, but you just need to know which levels you want to take it to. Some people are not good at taking risks. They can be comfortable in their zones, but I think majority of us should get out and try to be an entrepreneur.